Howdy doodly do, Glennies and neighbors. Callie here with an update on Paragon trees. As you know, 3 new trees have been released, so we will be going over the same information as in my previous video, but including the new 3 Paragon trees. The first thing that we're going to talk about today is the difference between an active and an inactive tree. And that is very simple. Let's go over to our Paragon trees. An active tree, all it means is that the score abilities will come into play if the check mark is on that specific tree. So as an example, since I have Seal selected in Vanquisher and the tree is active, Vanquisher will come into play if I go ahead and defeat some monsters. But on the contrary, since Treasure Hunter is not active, all the abilities on these squares will not come into play. They will not work. In contrast, the circles provide you stats, which are active at all times. Doesn't matter if the tree is active or inactive. One thing that a lot of people don't know is that you can actually view a summary of the stats that all your Paragon trees combined are giving you. And you can see that by just clicking that book on the left side of your Paragon trees. That will tell you how many points you have assigned into your Paragon trees and all the different attribute bonuses. Paragon trees can be reset once a week, every 7 days, and it's very easy to do so. All you have to do is click on those 2 little arrows next to available points right there. A screen will pop up and it will ask you to confirm that you want to reset all your Paragon trees. I recently reset mine, so that screen will not pop up. And as you see, I have 6 more days and 1 hour until I can do it again. Now, let's go into the Paragon trees themselves. So the first 2 Paragon trees that I suggest every player uses are Treasure Hunter and Gladiator. Treasure Hunter is just incredible for overworld farming, and in the long run, all the bonuses that you get from that tree will start adding up, which will make you progress faster. One of the bonuses from Treasure Hunter is that you have Swift Learner, which gives you more experience from deleting elite monsters. The other one is Gold Find, which gives you extra gold from killing monsters in outdoor areas. And Treasure Find, which gives you a 15% increased drop rate from elite monsters in outdoor areas. The last one is going to be Greed, which just makes Treasure Find unlucky go from 50% to 75%. The next tree that I recommend every player have, unless of course you do not do any form of PvP, in which case you can ignore the Gladiator one, would be Gladiator. The top 2 rows are going to be the most important ones. They will give you immunity to loss of control, reduction on the time that loss of control effects affect you, and will make you every few minutes, instead of dying, you'll just become stunned for 3 seconds and come back to life with 60% health, which is incredibly good in PvP. As you can see, both Treasure Hunter and Gladiators, I have unlocked both of the top 2 rows, and I'm ignoring the bottom ones because they don't give you as much benefit as the top 2 rows in both of these trees. For the rest of the Paragon trees, we're going to go one by one, and I'm going to show you what I prioritize in each of them. In my opinion, damage is the best stat that you can get from these trees, followed closely by health, then the other stats that will help you do more damage, which would be potency or armor pen, and then the last, armor and resistance. Now, this really varies on whether you are spending a lot of money in the game or not, or if you're a free-to-play player. If you're a whale, you don't care that much about damage, you already have enough. You want to make yourself harder to kill, which means you would probably focus on HP, armor, resistance, then potency, armor pen, and then damage. But for most players, if you go damage, health, and then the rest of the stats, you will get the most benefit out of it. Currently, you can get a total of 4,000 bonus damage from the trees. And I am going to go over how to obtain those 4,000 points. Right now it's only showing 3,920 because I made a mistake, which I will show you a little bit later on so you don't make that same mistake. Let's go first over Vanquisher. In Vanquisher, I'm just gonna unlock these 3 nodes right here. It's gonna give me a lot of damage. In Survivor, I'm going to go through the middle path. It's a little bit less expensive as far as points, all the way to the damage node. Treasure Hunter, I already showed. We already got the damage node right there, but we want the other nodes because they give you a lot of bonuses. In Gladiator, I'm going to go all the way to the damage, but I'm also going to select Cheat Death because it's extremely good in PvP and it only costs 1 point. In Soldier, I'm going to go through the bottom row just to hit that damage node at the bottom. In Mastermind is where I actually made the mistake. It has to do with a bug that you could use before the big update, but it's no longer active. What is the bug? Is that node right here with armor penetration. Before the update, you could put 1 point in here and then go over to the next one and then go over to the damage node, which was less expensive than going with the resistance and then to this node of mutual defense. Because it would cost you 5, plus 1, plus 1, 7, and then on to the rest. This one would cost you 10. Now, this node right here forces you to use all 15 points in armor penetration before you can unlock the next one. Thus, going to resistance and then that node is going to be cheaper. This is going to be 10, while this one is going to be 21. Then we're going to go on to the next 3 new trees that have been released. The first one is Massacre. Massacre, I'm just going to go with the top 2 nodes. Brawler, I'm going to go through the top and then middle path. And Duelist, I'm going to go through the middle path until I hit the damage. Here you can see that I have 21 out of 25. And it is not maxed out currently because I made that mistake in Mastermind. So if I were to put 4 more points here, I would get about 80 more damage, which would make my total damage, as you can see on the left side, be 4,000. Previously, the max amount of damage that you could get was 2,600. So that is already 1,400 extra damage that you can get just by doing the trees like I showed you. For the build that I am recommending, you need to be Paragon 401 or spend 401 Paragon points into your trees. That will give you the top 2 rows on Gladiator, the top 2 rows on Treasure Hunter, and every damage node. And your bonuses will look something similar to this. Now, because I am focusing only on damage right now, and I'm not focusing on HP, I have lost about 12,000 health, but I've gained about 1,400 damage. Armor penetration, potency, and resistance, roughly the same, a little bit more on some, a little bit less on other ones, but the big and important bonus that you want to get from this trace is damage. It will help you in every single aspect of the game. And as I mentioned, once you hit Paragon 401, you can unlock every damage node, plus the top 2 rows on Treasure Hunter and Gladiator. I will leave in the description a couple of links that are going to be very useful for you. The first one is going to be the recommended build that I just showed you, and it's just a link to the Paragon Tree Calculator with the notes that I selected. And the second link is going to be to the Paragon Tree Calculator that is completely blank so that you can play around with it and figure out what you want to do. One thing to note on the calculator is that there are some shortcuts, so you don't have to click 25 times to unlock all those nodes. The first one is, by default, left click is always going to add, right click is always going to remove. If you hold Control and then left click, you're going to add 5 points to whichever node you're clicking on. And if you do Control right click, you're going to remove 5. If you do Shift instead of Control, you're going to add the maximum for that node or up to that node and remove the maximum from that node. Also in the description below, I'm going to leave some important Paragon levels for Paragon trees. This is just to show you at what different Paragon levels you're going to be able to unlock, as an example, everything on the Treasure Hunter Paragon tree, plus the top 2 rows in Gladiator, plus every damage and HP node. Alrighty, that is it for today. Please consider subscribing and leaving a like, and feel free to comment on what I just discussed. If you have any issues, concerns, maybe something I missed, maybe something you want to see in the future, just let me know in the comments. I'll try to do my best to read all of them. I hope you guys have a great day. See ya.